I watch television, and my two favorite channels are CNN and CNBC. CNN is general news, and CNBC is business news, and I watch both of those regularly. In addition, I do listen to the radio and have satellite radio and listening to Bloomberg News, business news, and CNBC radio as well.
The only form of media that I regularly use is Facebook. I use that pretty often. I am on LinkedIn, but I don't really use it that often. It's helpful as a professional networking social media site. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram. Usually when I use Facebook, it is to look at my news feed and see what kind of pictures and events people are posting, and basically it's just a good way to procrastinate, and it's interesting to see what's going on in people's lives.
I use Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook every day. More into Twitter and Facebook than Instagram. I think that's just a personal preference.
I enjoy these particular mediums, and I do it because I enjoy it and find it educational, not because I feel obligated. For the most part, they're for pleasure and for education, and they give me a sense as to what's happening in the world, both in a general news sense and in business. I might add also that there is a medical satellite radio, doctor radio, which I do listen to on occasion for continuing education.
As far as LinkedIn or any professional sites, I don't think that I don't feel obligated to be on LinkedIn. I think that any company is going to be okay with you just sending your resume in the old-fashioned way.
I do, in a way, feel obligated to use these types of social media more for social reasons, just because news gets spread very quickly through social media. And I think without it, you could be missing out on something.
I would say that media has primarily a positive influence, however, I do feel there are inaccuracies, and that one has to interpret things either in the written media or on radio and TV with some hesitation, since there are errors that occur, and I might add also biases on the particular reporters, which unfortunately result in some distortion of news stories.
I think it's overall a good thing because it helps me connect with people that I wouldn't otherwise stay in touch with. It does cause me to waste some time, but overall I think it's positive because, I think that it's really your responsibility to use social media how you want to use it. If you feel like you're wasting your time, I know that there are certain people that deactivate their Facebooks, so I think you have to be responsible about not wasting too much time on social media sites, but at the same time, I don't really post a lot to Facebook, but I enjoy seeing what's going on in people's lives. It's also a great way to see what's going on in the world because people post about important news events on Facebook, and maybe, if I didn't have time to read the paper, it's helpful to learn about certain big-time political events or news events just by seeing, people updating their status and including, references to those events. I think it's helpful to be on LinkedIn because I have had people reach out to me and try and recruit me to join their firms, or if certain headhunters will get in touch and say that they have certain positions open and see if I'm interested. So, I think that's helpful. And I think it's helpful for people to be able to look me up and see, what my experience has been. But I don't put everything on my LinkedIn. I don't, I list the firms that I've worked at and the school that I went to, but I don't list, my test scores. I don't list the important deals or projects that I worked on at, my previous jobs, at my jobs. So, everyone chooses to use these, networking sites and social media sites the way they want to, and that's what I think is good about them. And overall, I think it's a positive influence on my life. And I think people definitely get out of control with it, and post a little bit too much, and waste a bit too much time on these sites. But I'm not one of those people, and I guess it works for them, and so it works for me too.
I think social media has played both a positive and negative role in my life, just because it has helped me get messages across to a large amount of people in a very short amount of time, but it also has served as a pretty big distraction, which is not helpful.